Hey up everyone, in today's video we're going to be talking about the fighters with the worst chins in every single weight division. Just before we get started, guys, if you have any video ideas for me, let me know in the comments and I'll see if I can make it into a video. To start off with the flyweight division, we have Matt Schnell. Who else would it have been? This guy's been knocked out 5 times out of 8 losses. And then again, against Sumadeji, however you say his name, he got dropped several times, but then was able to get the comeback win with a submission victory. But he should have probably got knocked out on that one. I don't know how he didn't get knocked out. Fair play to him. But yeah, this guy's the worst chin in the flyweight division. Been knocked out by the likes of Steve Erceg, Pantoja. You know, Pantoja, someone who's not really known for power. You know, it's more for like his cardio, his output, his aggression, his submissions, his grappling, not necessarily his power. After this, we have the bantamweight division, and I think we all know who this is going to be. Cody No Chin Garbrandt. I'm sorry, but it's him. Who else would it be in a bantamweight division? Let's be completely honest. It's got to be Cody Garbrandt. It sucks because he's very, very, very talented. But when it comes to his chin, it's just not there. This got cracked against TJ Dillashaw. And then again in a rematch. And then against Pedro Munoz. And then I can't remember who else. He's been knocked out a few times. Kai Kara France knocked him out. Very surprised that Rob Font didn't knock him out. Yeah, this guy's been knocked out a few times now. I also think it's got something to do with his defense not being the best. And that he can be, his fight IQ, he can be a bit reckless. But yeah, Cody Garbrandt, man, got an awful, awful chin. Moving up to the featherweight division, this was quite a hard division to class someone as the worst chin. So I just went with Andre Feely. Like, he hasn't got too many knockout losses. He's got a few. But I didn't know who to go with. This was quite hard. The featherweight division was quite solid in terms of chins. I didn't know who to go with. I went with Andre Feely. I was tempted to keep it like maybe ranked fighters only and go with Volkanovski, simply because he's lost his last 2 by knockout, but I thought that was a bit unfair because Islam Makhachev was at lightweight. But he's also been dropped by Max Holloway twice. He's been dropped by Chad Mendes. But no, I didn't think that was right. He's only been knocked out twice, and one of them was at lightweight. So I went with Andre Feely, but this was a hard one for the featherweight division, if I'm being completely honest. Lightweight division, Beneil Dariush. Yeah, this guy's been knocked out back-to-back against the likes of Charles Oliveira and Arman Sarukian. Guys who, yeah, they have power, but are grapplers. But let's not take away that they are decent strikers with a bit of power behind them. But he also got knocked out by Alex Hernandez. And we've seen how he's fell off ever since. And it was Alex Hernandez's UFC debut when he knocked out Beneil Dariush. So I've gone with Beneil Dariush. I feel like if anyone was to flick his chin, he'll probably get knocked out nowadays. So it had to be Dariush. There's like a fair few good chins in the lightweight division, if I'm being completely honest. Then move up to the welterweight division, and I've gone with Nico Price. Again, another division what's not the easiest to pick for. I was tempted to go with Leon. You know, he's been rocked by a washed Nate Diaz. He got dropped bad against Brian Barberena. I think, did Usman have him hurt momentarily? I can't remember. But yeah, I went with Nico Price. He's been knocked out a fair few times. Got knocked out against Robbie Lawler for Robbie Lawler's last ever fight. It's not like Lawler doesn't possess any power, but you know, it was the last version of Lawler, which was very washed. I've gone with Nico Price. He's been knocked out by, I think, Vicente Luque as well, Jeff Neal, and I can't remember who else. He has been knocked out by some other people as well. But it was Nico Price that had to be. In the middleweight division, we have Paul Craig, or as the Americans like to say, Paul Craig. I've gone with Paul Craig. This guy doesn't have the best of chins. I feel like it's mostly because his defense is so shocking, and he leaves his chin up in the air so much. But that doesn't mean he has a good chin. He still has not the best of chins, but his defense, you know, it doesn't help him in the slightest. But yeah, Paul Craig, he's got the worst chin in the middleweight division, in my opinion. In the light heavyweight division, the reason why this video is being made, because he just got finished this past weekend, Johnny Walker. And poor Johnny Walker's such a, you know, got an outgoing, bubbly personality, quite funny, quite entertaining. He gets knockouts, but he also gets knocked out. And every time he gets knocked out, it's in like dramatic fashion. It's like, It's brutal. He got knocked out against Volkan Ozdemir on the weekend. Got knocked out by Jamal Hill, where it looked like it was in like a cartoon, the way he slipped back, like he fell on a banana peel or some shit. He got knocked out by Magomed Ankalaev. He got knocked out by, was it Corey Anderson? This guy's been knocked out a few times. His fight against Ryan Spann, Jesus Christ. They were just both dropping each other left, right, and centre. And it was, oh God, it was a mess. This guy's the whole reason I made this video, because I just got reminded of how bad of a chin he had. And with Johnny Walker, it's always a hard one. Like I was against Volkan Ozdemir, it was like a 50-50, because like whoever lands first is getting knocked out. I wouldn't say Volkan has necessarily a bad chin like Johnny Walker does, but when you factor in that these two both hit hard, it was kind of hit and miss. And unfortunately for Johnny Walker, he was on the receiving end of the knockout, and he got sparked out for I don't know how many times he's been knocked out now, but there's been a fair few. And then to finish off with the heavyweight division, kind of a hard one, I went with Marcin Tybura. He's got, out of his 8 losses, he's got 5 of them by knockout. I was tempted to go with Curtis Blades. I believe all of his losses, he has 4 losses, all 4 of them have came by knockout. But then you remember who all 4 of those opponents are. Francis Ngannou twice, and I don't think he was out cold in either one of those 2 fights. Derek Lewis put him out cold, and that was a beautiful fucking timed uppercut. But again, Derek Lewis, the heaviest hitter in the heavyweight, possibly history. Him and Francis Ngannou are definitely up there. And then Pavlovich was his last knockout loss, and again, Pavlovich hits like a truck. So, yeah, I didn't really want to go with Blades. It's kind of hard because every heavyweight kind of hits hard, you know what I mean? But I went with Marcin Tybura. This guy's been knocked out a fair few times now. So I went with him. I was tempted to go with Sergey Spivak, but I went with Marcin Tybura. And those are the fighters with the worst chin in every single weight division. Let me know in the comments if you have any other fighters you think has the worst chin in a certain weight division. Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.